Okay, so you're busy, right, juggling everything, and you want to get better at English.
The idea of like learning while you sleep sounds amazing.
It really does. It taps into that wish for effortless improvement, doesn't it?
Totally. So today we're diving into that. Can you actually absorb English, just by listening overnight? We looked at a discussion from the English Dose podcast about this.
Ah, yes, Hypnopedia. Sleep learning, they cover it, but also pour a little cold water on the idea of waking up fluent just from listening.
Right. So the big question is, can you really learn English this way? Or is it just, well, wishful thinking?
Well, the English dose piece and the science suggests it's not quite that simple. Your brain is active during sleep, sure.
Especially in those lighter sleep stages, yeah?
Yeah.
It's still picking up sounds, patterns.
Exactly, but picking up sounds isn't the same as, actively learning grammar or memorizing new vocabulary. That takes conscious effort.
So, passively hearing English while you're asleep. It's not going to teach you the difference between past simple and present perfect. Probably not, no. True learning, the kind that sticks, involves your brain actively working to understand and store that information. Sleep listening doesn't seem to trigger that deep processing for new stuff.
Okay. But the English dose discussion brought up something really interesting. Reinforcement. What about solidifying things you already learned during the day?
Now that's where it gets potentially useful. We know sleep is crucial for memory consolidation, right? Making memories stick.
Uh-huh.
So while the passive listening probably won't teach you new grammar rules from scratch, it might subtly reactivate the things you studied earlier.
Like hearing a word you practiced that afternoon.
Exactly. Or a sentence structure. It could give those fresh memories a little nudge, strengthening them slightly. It's quite subtle, though.
So if you, listening right now, wanted to try this,
Yeah.
what kind of audio should you use? English Dose had some specific ideas.
Yeah, they suggested keeping it simple. Things like short English dialogues
Okay.
or common phrases, maybe expressions you're working on. Audio lessons based on repetition could work too.
And slow-spoken stuff, like podcasts or stories, read slowly.
Right. Nothing too complex or demanding. You want it to be background noise, essentially, not something that jolts your brain into high gear.
Makes sense. And they also mentioned audio quality, didn't they?
Critically important, yes. Low volume, calm audio. The goal isn't an intense study session, it's just gentle exposure.
Because loud or jarring audio could actually mess up your sleep.
Precisely. And poor sleep definitely hinders learning and memory. So you'd be defeating the purpose.
Okay, so the big picture here, based on what English Dose talked about, is don't throw out your flashcards yet.
Definitely not. Sleep listening is absolutely not a replacement for active, focused study when you're awake.
But it could be a helpful add-on, a supplement. They called it a power combo, I think.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Combining active daytime learning with this kind of passive nighttime exposure might help you feel, I don't know, just more comfortable with the sound of English.
Could boost your listening confidence a bit, maybe.
Mm.
Just making the rhythm and flow feel more familiar.
Potentially, yes. It's that extra bit of immersion, even if it's very passive. Think of it as marinating your brain gently in the language.
Huh, I like that. So for you listening, if you're curious, maybe give it a whirl.
Why not? Put together a playlist of some calm English audio, keep the volume really low, see how it feels.
But remember, the real heavy lifting, the actual learning progress, happens when you're awake and actively engaging with English.
Absolutely. This sleep thing isn't magic, but like English Dose suggested, think of it as maybe sneaking in a little extra practice while you rest.
Which leads to a final thought then. Even during rest, could you be nudging your English journey forward just a tiny bit?
Maybe there really is something to those sweet English dreams after all. A little unconscious reinforcement happening while you recharge. Worth thinking about, isn't it?